Welcome, I'm Giulia.
And I am Marta.
And this is LateMode, a podcast in search of the zeitgeist. Through a series of conversations, we explore the fragmented and hyper-connected modes of our current times. Hello there, and welcome to LateMode. It's Giulia here, and in this episode, I sat down with Silvestro Morlando in London. Silvestro spreads the love for Southern Italian culture through making pizza. He opened Sud Italia, his first pizza truck in central London 10 years ago, to offer not only authentic Italian food, but also to create a space which reminded him of the times he spent in Naples, filled with a sense of community, family traditions, and a colourful and loud Italian atmosphere. Guided by the topic of surrender, we talk about the challenges of running an independent business in a foreign country, how to stay true to your principles, and most importantly, how to keep doing what you love. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you, Silvio, for coming and talking to me about surrender, which is the topic of this episode. I invited you because I know your journey from Italy to London. I know your story, and I thought it would be really valuable for our listeners to know how you came to open this quite successful business that you have today in Spitalfields Market in London. And yeah, so maybe we can start by you introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about your journey.
Okay. Thanks, Giulia, to invite me. I'm really great to be here today. So my story began about 10 years ago when I decided to move in London with my girlfriend. We were supposed to be here just for 2-3 months to learn English. But as you can
hear,
yeah, my English is still Italian. But that's
don't worry,
okay.
We love that.
So we came here for, as I told you, stay for 3 months and then to go back to Italy and maybe travel the world.
But wait, so how did you get convinced to come here? What sparked this?
So my family bet on me that I will not stay more than 3 months or 6 months in London. I remember
They made
now.
a bet.
They made a bet. So because of that, I stayed more than 6 months. And in these 6 months, I had the chance to see this city in another view. Because when I came, the first week was horrible. Like, I didn't like the food, I didn't like the weather, I didn't like the smell, nothing. But now I'm really in love with London. Like, for me, it's like, do you know Peter Pan, the film?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the dreamland, how do you say?
Wasn't that the island that doesn't exist?
Yeah, but
Peter Pan.
Yeah, so that's how I feel in London. So the reason was because in 6 months' time, I had the chance to see the city in another view. And I was learning a lot from people because you can meet a lot of people from other countries with other experience. And even because I love cooking, like I studied to become a chef. And when I come in London, my first job was in an Italian kitchen, obviously. And over there, I met a lot of people that know how to cook stuff in different way with different recipe. So I thought this is the place where I can learn a lot. So that's why I was convinced to stay, even because I saw that there is a lot of opportunity. So in 1 year time, I was learning English a bit more and improve skills on cooking. And then I decided to open my business. And I thought, first of all, I said, you know what, maybe I'm gonna...
Well, let's explain for our listeners what is your business.
Okay, so basically my business for me is a pizzeria on 4 wheels. But for everybody, it's a pizza truck. And so I decided to open a pizzeria on 4 wheels because it's easy to choose a venue. And if the venue is not in the right place, then you can move your pizzeria.
Yeah, I mean, it's
else.
amazing, right?
Yeah. So it's easy. You cannot make mistake with that. So
and it's also cool. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, because how you can see a van with a wood fire oven inside, I think nobody saw that. We were mentioned in a book that is called Where to Eat Pizza in the World. The guy that wrote the book, he mentioned me and he said that I was the pioneer of the street food.
Wow.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was really proud of me because I just have an idea that that works.
Yeah. But the story, I mean, how you got there, you were telling me a little bit the other day, was not as easy as you make it sound. You went through a lot of hurdles, a lot of
Trouble,
stages
let's
and
say.
troubles.
Yeah, that was not easy because I start with a partner, but then when you start with someone else that you don't know properly, of course, the journey will be sometimes difficult. So yeah, I had some trouble, but then I'm always staying positive and I resolve all of the, how do you say,
All of the problems.
all of the problems.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the topic of today is quite fitting in a way because surrender to me also has this double meaning of, letting go and letting things kind of be by themselves, or also just surrender because you had enough and you have to kind of, you abandon this project, let's say. And I remember when you were telling me about the story of Sud Italia that there was a couple of points along these 8 years where maybe there were so many problems. Maybe you have, grown this business and made all this money and then lost all this money. And like, what made you keep going instead of saying, I surrender? Or were you surrendering as in, I'm just going to let it be?
No, so basically, I heard a lot about surrender. Like when I watch movies, I heard this word, but since today that you told me what surrender means, I think that if I need to translate this word or give a meaning, I think I'm a positive person. So if I need to think surrender, I cannot think like surrender, I'm gonna give up. So if I need to surrender, it's gonna be for me like something that I'm gonna let go in a way, how I can say. I like to let life go, but I'm the kind of person that he need to be in control of everything. Yeah. So even if I let go something, I need to have my hands on it.
So if I understand correctly, you're saying that even if you let it flow and you let go of certain things, you have the need to still shape it in some form. Do you think this is proper of people who have their own business?
No, I don't think so. I think this is proper of some certain of people.
Mm-hmm. And how do you deal with that? Do you think you need to surrender more? Not in the sense of giving up.
Yeah, because I don't like to give up in the life in general. So that's what I try to do always. Like I'm trying to do something that is, if even impossible, I should try before I surrender.
Yeah. And what do you think keeps you going? What is your motivation?
It's my goals in life. Like I want something in my life and I know what I want and I know that I need to reach my goals.
Mm-hmm. Did you always have the same goals or were they?
No, obviously you can, how you say, you can hope you can reach your goals, but it's not always easy. So I cannot say that I'm always reach my goals. I'm trying to, but it's not always successful, let's say. But even if this happen, I'm always trying. And as I already said, I'm trying to don't give up.
Yeah.
That's the point.
And so you started this pizza truck, and do you want to tell us a little bit like the story behind it? Because it's obviously called Sud Italia, which means
South of Italy, of
South
course.
of Italy.
So at the beginning, when I chose to open the pizza truck, I was thinking to do something for myself to don't work to other people. So I decided to open the pizzeria because it's something that I really like and it's something that put me in connection with my roots because all of my family is from Naples. And if I need to think about that, be a Napolitan in Italy is, let's say, difficult because you have a lot of racism and people really think about, oh, wow, you are from Naples, you are not good. So
did you experience that growing up?
So my family originally is from Naples, but I'm born in Pescara. It's basically in the opposite coast. And when my family moved to Pescara, when I was a kid, I can remember that I was the son of Napolitan. Yeah. So few of the friends that I've got from school, when they had a play date, maybe I was the no one invited because I was the son of the Napolitan. So I didn't feel the experience 100%. But I can say 50%, let's say.
So then the motivation to open something here in London that is actually called...
A kind of revenge for me, because look at that, like now I'm in London, it's just... Oh, mi viene da piangere.
Oh.
It's like... Come cazzo si dice che l'ho fatta?
I made it.
Yeah, so for me it's like I can shout I made it because it's just a small pizza truck in a big city like London, and a lot of people is talking about Sud Italia. That is my creation basically. So of course it started with me, but all of the stuff that I've got around me is, most of them is from South Italy, so maybe they can feel in the same way I feel it. So my revenge is...
Their revenge, yeah.
Yeah.
How did people receive here in England this part of the south of Italy? Like,
they love it. People are crazy because like when people pass through our truck, they are stopped from the music because we're just playing Napolitan music.
That's really the thing that obviously our listeners right now cannot imagine this, but we will make sure to include links of your Instagram, which is full of videos of the truck and playing, you know, Napolitan music in this market, and it's really quite an atmosphere that you have created. It's not just about the pizza, right? It's about going there and
about
feeling
everything. What I want to bring over here is like bring our tradition, bring our culture, bring a piece of South Italy in London. That's what I want.
And what is South Italy for you?
I need to think about this because it's everything. So
It's everything.
Yeah. It's my life, it's where I belong, and a piece of me is still there. And
do you think it's possible to really, because I mean your tagline for your business is from the art of Naples to the streets of London.
Yeah.
So do you think it's possible to really bring a piece of, like, you know, for example, South Italy or your interpretation of South Italy to another place?
Of course. Yeah, there is nothing impossible, and it's what we are doing with Sud Italia. Like, you need to come for try the experience, because as you said, it's not just the pizza. When you come there, we speak in Italian, we're smiling, we're happy, and we're
dancing.
We're dancing, we're crazy. So if you come there, you feel like, if you're from Italy and you just come there because you are a tourist, a lot of them, they give me the feedback that, oh, wow, it's like be home. So
yeah.
And for me, this is really...
I mean, I'm also from Italy and I also feel at home at the truck.
Yeah, so that's what I want from my business. Not just make a nice and beautiful and good pizza. I don't care. Like, everyone can make pizza, but we are making an experience. That's what I want from my business, and that's what is happening now.
Yeah, I mean, this really brings me to why I invited you here on this podcast, because people with a lot of different stories, mostly focused on maybe the creative side, you know, making something, or at least like trying to make this creative practice work for themselves, which is in a way what you're trying to do, this passion for South Italy and cooking and pizza, trying to make it as best as it can to sustain you, your family, the people around you, and of course to make your customers happy as well. What are some advices that you would give people? Because I mean, it is important to keep these smaller businesses thriving, but it's not easy, of course, as we were saying.
It's completely not easy, because like a lot of companies that start in the same times that I started, they found investors, they found funds, so they found the way to grow fast and to get bigger. And it's something that doesn't suit me, because what I want is like, of course, if I made a business, I want money back. Like, I want money. But my first point is like, make people happy, make people know what South Italy is, and make myself proud of what I'm doing. So I'm still a small business. So of course I know that it's hard for me, but I know that at some point we will grow. So we are not in a rush, and we are waiting for that to happen. Un pianto di soddisfazione, capito?
Possiamo dirla questa cosa?
Sì, non è vero.
So we just took a little break because Silvio was telling me, oh, I feel like I need to cry.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you can if you want to, but where do you think this crying comes from? And he was telling me that talking about Sud Italia and thinking about the journey, how difficult it was, all the different hurdles that you had to go through, kind of makes you cry of joy, right?
Yeah, of course, because basically I have trouble, but I resolve problem, and also because like it's maybe think that a business becomes successful, it's nothing for someone, but for me it's really important. Like it's make me really proud of me because it was not easy like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so and this connects to the question I was asking you just before, how important it is to keep these smaller businesses, like independent businesses, going, but also how do you deal with then expanding and becoming bigger, but still maintaining this connection? Because as I can see that with you, it's very, very important to have your business on a personal level, and you become so invested personally into it. But then if you make it bigger, do you think it's possible to maintain this connection to it?
This is a big question mark even for me because I'm let's say a young entrepreneur, so I'm still looking for see that my company is gonna grow. So I just need to give a try. And sometimes when I'm thinking, it's like maybe I need to find an investor to jump in my project and grow. But when I feel this experience about 6 years ago, an investor came across a really good one, an Italian one. He offered me £300,000 for 10% of Sud Italia. That was at that point just one pizza truck. Now I've got 3 pizza truck and 2 opening of restaurant coming soon. So when that happened with just one pizza truck, he basically valued my company 3 million. And I was so happy and grateful of that. But at the same point, I said, this is what you really want? That was the question that I made to myself. And at the end, I said no to these investors.
Why?
Because I thought, what do you want from your business? Do you want to have 10 restaurants or 10 pizza trucks and make just money? Because at some point when you enjoy someone else, you need to have a kind of compromise.
Yeah.
So if someone give you money, they will not give you just for enjoy the life. They want a return of that.
Yeah.
So maybe the decision of the business would be not taken just from me. So I'm really focused on quality of the food. Like, as you know, you tried our pizza. We take everything from Italy, everything. So we are really focused in the product, like in make the product in a really good way. So I thought maybe if I'm going to enjoy these investors, he will say at some point, you know what, let's use this mozzarella, like the grated cheese that people use like in Domino's or Papa Johnson's. And it's something that I will never put on my pizza. So maybe for someone, these things could sound strange or stupid, but I don't care. Like what I want to give to my customer is quality.
And why pizza out of all of the Italian food that you could make? Why did you love pizza so much?
Okay, it's just because I tried to work in the kitchens in London and it was a nightmare. As a chef, and was a nightmare. Really a nightmare. And
why? Can you give some examples?
To stress, customer pretend a lot of like attention on the plate. They want the food. For example, when you cook a steak, there is a lot of
a lot of
medium rare.
Yeah.
Wow, no. I said, you know what? I'm gonna make the pizza. I can still using my skills as a chef. It's gonna be my product. So if people's gonna come in my pizzeria, it's gonna be a menu where they're gonna choose what I made without changing nothing, and that's it.
Can you say what they cannot have on the pizza?
Of course, if you come into Italia, you will see in the menu, it's right in capital letters, please don't ask for chicken and pineapple on our pizza.
Can you tell us why?
Because chicken and pineapple doesn't belong to pizza. That's easy. It's a really easy concept. And yeah.
Right. So before you were telling us a little bit about that Sud Italia had a lot of challenges, but can you give me an example?
Of challenges?
Yeah, of problems.
The last one was 2016. We were in Peterfield's Market and something happened in West London, like Shepherd Bush. Building took fire. A lot of people lose life and was really sad moment. So in all of London was a kind of, let's say, was a lot of checks from company to buildings, like if the buildings were built in a proper way with all of the
Fireproof.
Yeah. So even Spitalfields was scared. So we were in Spitalfields market with a wood fire oven at that point. But since that episode happened, they said to us that we were not able anymore to use the wood fire oven. So we replaced the wood fire oven with a gas oven. And at that time, it took me about 3 months to build another oven, bring the oven in UK, because even the oven is from Naples, and find some engineer for check the gas, give me the certificate. So in these 3 months, basically, I lose all of my money that I saved. I lose all of my customers, because in the meantime, London in 3 months, it's like 8 years. So other pizzeria opening around. So when I open again in Spitalfields, all of my customer was not there. All of the queue that we used to have on Saturday and Sunday was not there, and all of the income was not there. Yeah. So it was really hard for me. Like sometimes I was thinking, okay, maybe you should go back to Italy. Maybe you're done.
Yeah.
But as I told you, I didn't give up.
So you didn't surrender.
Yeah. I just done what is easy for me to do. That is like making pizzas. Like I love making pizza. When I'm making pizza, it's like when I'm inside Sud Italia making pizza, it's like I'm in Naples making the pizza and just smell my hometown, remember my family, and I'm happy. So that's what I done. And after 1 year, I think we rebuild something. Like we rebuild a bit of regular customer, and yeah, we were at like 50%.
And then there was COVID.
Yeah, and then nice, COVID came, everything was stopped, and again, I didn't surrender. We start slowly to rebuild everything. So I think that now we are at the point where we have again our name back in London.
Yeah.
And people now know who Sud Italia is, and we're happy. Like the team is happy, I'm happy, and
I mean, I think as you were saying, I was also thinking that pizza in a way is also this very simple thing, right? Like it's like the more simple it is.
Just water, salt, yeast, and flour. That's it.
Yeah, and as you were saying that, you know, when you have a problem, you just focus on making pizzas because it's just so easy in a way. It's like
easy for me. It's relaxing. I don't need to think nothing, and it's the only things that when I'm cooking, it's like I'm in another world. Mm-hmm. So it's make me really happy.
Yeah, well, maybe it's also your way to, as we were saying, the other meaning of surrender is to let go of things. And maybe when you're cooking is really that moment when you just focus on that and let all the other stuff kind of go the way that they need to go, or where you don't have so much control over it.
I agree.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful thing about food. Also how it brings people together, but also how it's important for the people who make the food as a sort of like therapy as well. It's pizza therapy.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. And so if you would give advices to somebody who wants to start now, maybe not just a pizza business, but in general, like their own business where they, you know, they believe that they have something to share that comes maybe from a personal story, as for you, how should you start doing that?
So what I can suggest is before you start, they need to sit in front of them like in a mirror, watch inside them and see if they want to do it, like really want to do it. Because it's gonna be... mi servono 5 minuti qua.
Con questo Maradona, tipo Padre Pio.
What I can
they
suggest,
really want to do it,
like they need to sit somewhere just with them in front of the mirror, think if they really want to start this business, and think that will be really hard. Like think think at the beginning like a nightmare that would be a dream at some point. But
Wow.
yeah, they need to start thinking that will be really hard. So nightmare maybe is a really hard word.
Yeah.
But I think like that because when something nice is gonna come, you will be really happy like, oh, I am today. So when I started, maybe I thought that everything go well, everything would be beautiful. Yeah, maybe this could be the key. But if I need to give a suggest, maybe it's better to don't expect something at the beginning because it would be hard.
But yeah, maybe it is your naivety
Yeah.
was good at the beginning where
Yeah.
you just didn't think about the negative things.
Yeah,
but
that's
of
true.
course, if you would
That's
give an
true.
advice, maybe you would
Yeah,
say,
but you know what? I'm not 100% sure of what I said because if I need to think about me, I never thought was a nightmare. So, no, I want to say it would be not like that. Think positive since the beginning because maybe this is the key. So, that's what I think, yeah.
yeah. And
And
but
never give up. That's the must.
yeah, but at the same time, I think you do need to surrender to certain things.
What I'm thinking at the moment is not just when I said the word never give up, it's not just because if you are focused in never give up, you can be just a horse that is going to do a race
Against
horses.
yourself, basically.
Yeah. So you are just running because you don't want to give up. But at the end, you are running for what? So it's basically maybe have a business plan, have a point where you want to get to, and sometimes maybe surrender. But as we said before, surrender in the way where you can flow.
Which is the hardest thing, right? If we would say life is a river and it like flows, but you also want to shape it, as we were saying
Yeah,
before.
something really hard, but
It's really
it's not
hard.
impossible.
Yeah, it's not impossible, but it's also, you do run the risk. And I think a lot about it in my life, the risk of just running and not knowing really, because you just want to do it. You just want to do something. And sometimes you just have to stop, and yeah, let other things kind of happen and then maybe reshape the river a little bit. Or maybe sometimes you need to be shaped from the river
Yeah.
in a different way.
But the life will think about that
Yeah,
for sure.
we'll make sure. I mean, I can only imagine you have 2 kids. That would have been the biggest reshape of your life.
Wow. Yes, a big whoa.
They're
Yeah.
super cute, very energetic.
Yeah.
Do they
Yes,
love
they are.
pizza?
Yeah, they love my pizza. Yeah.
Imagine if you got some kids who didn't like pizza. That
Wow.
would have been a tragedy.
I can kill myself, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I really got from your story, I really like what you said about to sit down and look at yourself in a mirror and really ask the question of like, do I want to do this and why do I want to do it? Do I love it? Like, do I love doing what I'm doing? And I think that not all businesses at the moment are about that. They're just about making money, right?
Yeah. Maybe because the course of the life is like that. Like we are at the point where a lot of us are concentrated in become someone because the system said you need to look like that, you need to have this car, you need to have this house, this age, you need to buy a house. So more people follow the rules that maybe Instagram or TikTok give to them. But I think this is wrong.
But how do you see this social media? Because, I mean, in your business, I can imagine it helped you a lot to get your truck known, to let people know about your pizza. But how do you balance it?
So for our business, social media are really important because they give to us the opportunity to let our business know. But if I need to think in general, life is something that I don't like a lot. Like if we could go back in the past, I would like to don't have social media in my life. But at this point, we cannot decide that. So
Yeah.
I need to say that we need it.
Yeah. But you also have positive experiences there, right?
Yeah, of course. Just positive experience.
Yeah. So it is possible to have this, let's say, healthy relationship with social media in a way.
You need to decide that.
Yeah.
Of course, you can have that.
Yeah, it's interesting because the woman who left you this topic of surrender, Janine, she was the guest before you, and she is a potter, so she makes pottery. And we also got in the end to talk about social media, because I think when you make something of your own nowadays, it's almost impossible not to think about it or not to feel that you're part also of this other community that is not just the customers who come to the track, but also the online community that kind of supports you and keeps you going. So I want to ask you just another question. When I told you about the topic of today, was there anything that came to your mind?
To be honest, yes. If I need to think about that, yeah, there is a lot of, I think, meaning and thought about surrender for everyone in the life, I think, because I think it's a big word. Like everyone in the life is gonna meet this word, let's say, if we can compare this word to a person. So I think everyone in the life have a point where he wants to surrender at something or at someone. And I think that I have the period of my life where I surrendered to myself. Like when I came in London, I was let's say, a different person. I didn't trust myself. I didn't believe that I could do something positive in my life, something that made me proud. I always remember that I was talking with my father before I came in London and asking him how you became a man. And he always said, will be a point where you will know. But I didn't find this a right answer. So as soon as I start my business, I feel a man, but not like a man because I dress jeans. I feel a man because I was able to make money by myself, build a family, pay bills. So I think I surrendered to the old young man that I was, and yeah.
But it's probably that young man that you say you still are. I think
Yeah.
you're not that much older, but it's also probably exactly that energy that got you where you are, as you were saying before, this sort of naivety and thinking that everything will just go, because that's kind of what you do when you're a bit younger. You just kind of go into something, not think about it too much.
No, of course, but I think I'm still young in mentality. Like I think I'm thinking like a kid, but I'm proud of that because he's helped me a lot in my life and in my business as well. But I think that my person at that time, I was a kind of person that I was not sure of myself. So if I need to think about give a suggest to someone that is gonna open a business, I think even if you are a kind of person that you are not sure of yourself, you don't need to think about that like a stop. So you will think, okay, no, I'm a kind of person that is not sure about myself, so I will not do that. I cannot start a business. No, just think that this is gonna be a kind of challenge that you're gonna put in front of you, and I think this is gonna help you to reach your goal and to become another person. So
and to also help you to surrender to yourself, right? To just kind of say, I am this person and I'm okay with who I am, because you challenge yourself constantly and you discover who you are.
Yeah, and you don't need to show nothing to nobody but just to you. That's why I was really focusing telling you when you said give us suggest to someone an advice, stay in a room and put yourself in front of a mirror, because what I think in life is like you don't need to show nothing to nobody, you need to just to show to yourself. And that's what happened to me. Like when I said, oh wow, I'm a man now, I didn't say that because I want to show to people that I'm a man, but that was the point where I want to show to myself who really I was and who really I am now.
Yeah, and also to me it's also about what have you got to give to others as well. So after that moment, it's also about what can you give. So in your business, for example, is you want to give a piece of Naples, you want to give this feeling of family, you want to give all of those things. And if you didn't have them clear, probably the business maybe wouldn't have worked as well, right? Because you...
Yeah, but what I'm thinking at the moment is like, it's not just like that, is even give a chance to people, but not like a chance, I give the chance to people, a chance of an experience, like other people, because I started the business that I was 23. I was...
So you are how old now?
33. So when I started, like a lot of young people, they were following me. They were following me on Instagram, for example, and was not the kind of person that was showing a Ferrari. Of course, I cannot afford that. But I don't know, maybe nice watches or going outside and drink nice bottle of wine. No, I was just focusing working and building something. So I'm happy because at this moment I'm followed from people that they want to do the same things that I'm done. And I'm proud of that because I'm giving like an example to young people and say and shout, oh, I done it, you can do it. So I'm really proud of that.
No, I think this is a great message to give to anyone, really, whether it's your business or whether you're trying to, I don't know, follow whatever dream, even if you don't want to make money with it. But so many times you kind of need these examples, these people, you know, to look up and feel motivation from. So thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
And so one last question that I was thinking about, because of course I'm also Italian and I've also lived in many different countries. And I was wondering, how much more challenging do you think it is for you, or it was for you, coming from another country, so coming from Italy to England to open a business, compared to, for example, just being in Italy? If you would have opened the same business there, do you think it was more difficult doing it in another country?
If I need to answer you respect of my personal experience in London, I can say yes, because I'm coming from Italy where we speak Italian. I came here that I was able to say just the pen is on the table. And
so how did you manage?
well, I don't know. I think we just use our Italian skills that basically are our hands. So I just communicate with my hands. And that's helped me a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Like to go into like an office to open up your business practices, etc. You just spoke with your hands.
Yeah. I don't know how I done to, like, do you know when you take a house in London, like in a rent house, you need to put your bill on your name.
Yeah.
Well, I did it. Just on phone. There are no office because in London you do everything by email or phone call. Yeah. So, you know, I don't remember how I done it. Maybe Google Translate in front of me and just speaking like that. Yeah, but yeah, for answer to your question, I think in here it's hard. But as I told you, if you want something, nothing is really, really hard. So you can do it. In Italy, it will be easy because you have your network, because you have your language, you know the rules.
Yeah. No, I think that maybe it is more challenging, but of course also more rewarding because it was more challenging.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing very personal ideas also that maybe you don't often think about, that are involved into making a business actually. And I was hoping to wrap all of this conversation up with a topic, what we call a ruin, something that maybe comes from this conversation, or something that maybe you have been thinking about in your mind for a while and you would like another person to discuss. So yeah, what would this word be?
So this word will be love.
Love.
Yeah.
We didn't have love.
Okay, that's good. So it will be love because people always ask me, oh, please tell me the secret of your pizza. Or tell me the secret of to become a successful business. So I think there is no secret. But what make me like alive is love. Without love, okay. So if I think myself as a battery, I think that love is my charger. So without that, I cannot live, basically. So this is going to be my topic for next guest that you're going to have.
Wow, I think it's it's such a cute topic. And it's also very spoken about, in so many different ways, and everybody has their opinion about love. And also there is obviously the cliche view of what love is, but it can take many different shapes
Of course.
and forms, as you were saying. Being the charger of something, it's basically the motor to everything else.
Yeah.
Of like your business, of your family. And I'm very curious to know what's going to come from this conversation, how people are going to interpret it. But thank you so much for...
Welcome.
I hope it wasn't too challenging for you.
No.
A little bit emotional, maybe.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot emotional.
Yeah.
That's good. I think this has happened to many people before you in this podcast, that it kind of comes...
So I'm not the only one.
No one has cried, but it kind of comes this point where it borders a little bit of a kind of psychotherapy session. That you're just really talking about it.
No, I think it was more emotional than therapeutic that
Yeah.
you said. So it was really emotional because think about my business, it let me feel a lot of emotions.
Which is good, right?
Yeah.
It's what you were saying is not just a way you make money, but is a way that you incorporate it in your life. So it should make you emotional. Because
it's part of my life.
Yeah, it's very personal. But thanks again. And
Welcome.
I would recommend to anyone who's in London to actually really come to Spitalfields and try your pizza, because it's pretty amazing.
And don't ask for pineapple and chicken, please.
Yes, remember that. All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Ciao.
Ciao, Bella.
Thank you so much for staying with us until the end. If you want to dive deeper into the show, don't forget to check the podcast description for extra resources, contact information, and a sign-up form for our newsletter. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and until next time, take care.